YouTube? Zamcro here, aka Scoop, back with the World Showdown Series, Season 6, and we've got week number 1 here, and we're taking on the Chanchester United. Last season, this guy had a pretty similar squad to this season, and I'm pretty sure he had the Gastrodon last season as well. So he's got the Gastrodon again this season. He's got Jirachi, which is the Flinch Master, the King of Hacks. If he needs it, he could use it that way. I don't think it necessarily matches up well versus me in a Haxy type way. I do have the Rotom Heat, I do have Aegislash, so on and so forth. I think it would be better served as a Mega Gardevoir check, potentially. And then he's got Haxorus, one of the most powerful dragons in the game, and one of the best in draft format, in my opinion. It has the pure dragon type and has awesome coverage, and then it has a couple great abilities, which is really cool. Gliscor, I think everybody knows what Gliscor does. It's done pretty much the same thing since its introduction, and it can be, I guess it does have some versatility to it, especially in the draft league format. I've used it quite recently, actually, as you guys have seen. I've drafted it in the Santa SmackDown Tour, so there's that. He's got the Sylveon, which can be annoying, especially to my Hydreigon. The Gastrodon and Moongus makes for a pretty good core, and then Crobat gives his team some much-needed speed. So does Entei. Jirachi and Entei pretty much the same speed, base 100. Mienshao and the Mega Manectric give him really much-needed speed. And then the Glaceon, it's more like one of those low-tier gym picks. Has some cool text on it, and gets like Baton Pass, Hill Bell, and gets Ice Shard and things like that, so that could be a thing. I don't think it's necessarily going to come against me. I think he brings the Rachi, maybe the Haxorus, definitely the Sylveon, as it's a really good check to my Hydreigon, which is a potential Z-move user. I don't know if the Gastrodon comes, maybe because I do have Rotom Heat. And then I do expect Mega Manectric. I know for a fact there's 3 Pokemon coming to this matchup. That's Sylveon for my Hydreigon. He's bringing the Mienshao because it rips through my squad, literally rips through my squad, and I do not have an electric immunity. I do have a couple of resist, but nothing that wants to continuously switch in on Mega Manectric. So that's a huge threat to my squad. And that being said, we can hop into the team. I'm actually going to do a little bit different kind of team builder here. I'm not going to hop into it. I've got a little bit less time to get this video out than I do my other videos, and less time to edit, obviously. So that being said, it's really easy for me to edit, but it's time consuming the way I normally do. So I'm not going to hop into the actual team builder there. I'm not going to show my movesets or anything like that. I'm just going to explain it and talk about it like that. So we've got a modest Hydreigon with enough speed to always outpace a max speed Sylveon, and we've got nearly max bulk. We've got the Stellium Z with the flash cannon, so that once the Sylveon comes in, it's bopped and gone. We've got Taunt and Roost for longevity and obviously support. We can prevent Stealth Rocks from a slow Gliscor, can prevent Spore from a Moongus, things like that. It's really nice. And then Dark Pulse is my general stab. Outside of Sylveon, I guess Mienshao would be his best check to this. Maybe like a fat variant with Regenerator or something like that could be a cool take. Or you could just be like fat and just click Drain Punch and knock me out, OHKO me, whatever. But yeah, that's it for Hydreigon. Basically, the idea behind Hydreigon is to eliminate Sylveon, maybe be able to 1v1 Gliscor, same for a Moongus with Taunt and Dark Pulse. So being able to 1v1 mons like that, potentially, and Gastrodon, so on and so forth, is really nice. Opens holes up for Mega Gardevoir, Conkeldurr, and Tentacruel, which is really nice. So next up we've got a Mega Gardevoir, which is kind of a defensive variant, but we're rocking max speed, actually. So we're fast, but we are bulky at the same time. We have Hyper Voice, Psychic, and Shadow Ball. We had to run Psychic because he has the Moongus, and then Hyper Voice is stab of choice versus everything. And Psychic also hits harder versus Entei, so that's another nice reason to have the Psychic on there. Next up, we've got Shadow Ball, which is our coverage for Jirachi, which I think is going to be his main switch hit. I debated having Will-O-Wisp on here. It catches Gliscor and allows it to not be a threat. and prevents Poison Heal, which is really nice. Taunt also could be cool against Gliscor, but I think Will-O-Wisp is better versus Gliscor and Jirachi. However, I felt Taunt was better versus the rest of his squad. Like late game, Sylveon, if it come down to it, prevent wishes and stalling and stuff like that. Same for Gastrodon, and just hyper voice through his team, and then make sure that I leave off on a taunt if I'm going to be knocked out or something like that, so my following Pokemon can come in and get the knockout. And things like that. So that's just the general idea behind Mega Gardevoir. It's an amazing breaker. With no special attack investment, it still hits at 366 special attack, which is just insane. Just an amazing breaker. Next up, we have an Adamant Max Attack Conkeldurr with the Expert Belt, rocking Drain Punch, Poison Jab, and the Ice Punch. I felt like those were the best moves for his squad. I thought about knockoff for Jirachi, but I felt like Drain Punch would be enough, especially since I'm rocking the Sheer Force ability with the Expert Belt. I know Sheer Force isn't boosted, but knockoff wouldn't be either. But yeah, Poison Jab is there for the Sylveon, Ice Punch for the Gliscor, and then Drain Punch is for everything else not named Crobat or Amoonguss. So that's fine. Ice Punch hits the Amoonguss and the Crobat, so that's good for that. We've also got the Taunt there so that we can also prevent Spore from slow Amoonguss, Gastrodon, so on and so forth from recovering up, which is really nice. Speaking of recovering up, so far our team outside of Hydreigon has no form of real recovery. So we've got a Wish Passer here in Licky Licky. We've got Protect, Wish, Earthquake, and Ice Beam. Best coverage versus the squad. And we're EV'd with with max HP and no special defense investment. We're actually we can't be 2-hit KO'd by a Mega Manetric's modest Thunderbolt, which is really nice. And it allows us to take on Haxorus at +1, especially with our Ice Beam. We can take on Jirachi with the Earthquake, Break Subs, so on and so forth, which is really nice. Thought about bringing Toxic for the Gastrodon and Sylveon, but I felt like Amoonguss, Crobat, Gliscor is really nice switches for the Toxic. So I felt like not bringing that actually. And then we've got a Tentacruel here with the Wakan Berry, so that we can actually bait the Manectric and maybe catch it off guard and bop it with a Scald, which would be pretty cool. Would be very cool actually. And we've got the Liquid Ooze ability because Amoonguss has the Giga Drain move. We've got Toxic Spikes in case he doesn't bring Amoonguss, which could be cool. And Scald is nice stab versus his squad. We've got Ice Beam there specifically for Haxorus and Amoonguss, but I guess it does hit the Gliscor harder than Scald does and hits the Crobat harder as well, so that's really nice. This gives me a fighting resist as well, so it's something that can switch in and take a couple hits from the Mienshao. I have Reflect Type as my last move. It's a cool tech. I could prevent Gliscor from hitting me with an Earthquake. I can prevent Jirachi from hitting me with a super effective Zen Headbutt if it's slower than me, obviously. And then Mega Manetric, if he goes for Volt Switch, or say it was Gliscor and Mega Manetric left, and he goes for the Volt Switch, pops my Wakan Berry as I go for, and he Volt Switches out into Gliscor as I go for the Reflect Type. And then he brings in the Gliscor, he can't knock me out, I click the Ice Beam. He brings in the Mega Manetric. He has to click Hidden Power Ice. I can switch out accordingly from there, come back in, or if he doesn't pop my Wakan Berry and he goes straight for the Thunderbolt, pops my Wakan Berry, as I click Reflect Type, I become an Electric Type and I have enough bulk to live the next Thunderbolt or Overheat or Hidden Power Ice, whatever his moves may be. So that's really cool. Ivan Ooze is the nickname for Tentacruel too, so that's hype as hell. And last but not least, we have a Rocky Helmet Rotom Heat with Protect, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, and the Pain Split. Mostly Spadef, and we've got enough speed investment to outpace Sylveon, so that we can always, be able to Pain Split up before it's able to knock us out. So what Rocky Helmet allows us to do is take Fake Out, High Jump Kick, and punish the Mienshao, which is a huge threat to our squad. And then Protect, I thought about having Protect on a lot of my mons. I do have it on the Rotom Heat and the Licky Licky. I thought about having Protect on the Hydreigon, but I felt like with Gardevoir being so defensive, Protect on Rotom Heat and Licky Licky, as well as having Tentacruel as a fighting resist and Rocky Helmet on the Rotom Heat. I felt like Mian Xiao couldn't be that big of an issue. It couldn't be that big of an issue, right? And I do have Aegislash on my squad, so he's kind of forced to run knockoff. If he doesn't run knockoff, Aegislash walls it, and that's something that my squad, like, he has to watch out for Aegislash. He has to watch out for the stack attack, and my steel types are very potent. He has to watch out for Hazard Stack with a Selgor, so he has to bring Defog on the squad. He's got to have a way to break through all of my fat and things like that. So the Mian Xiao definitely has to pack knockoff this match, and I don't think it can afford to click high jump kick freely. But if he gets himself in a situation, this thing can still be a very, very big nuisance. If there's mind games with Protect and King Shield, he could run a substitute variant. Sub SD, Drain Punch, and Knockoff shreds my squad. Shreds my squad. So, yeah, that could be GG right there. I'm facing the Mian Xiao. So, going to be problematic, and the Mega Miniature is also going to be problematic. But yeah, that's going to be it for the team builder section, and we can hop into the replay, and we'll be right back. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent does bring the Mian Xiao and the Mega Miniature, two Pokemon that I knew were coming. I knew that from, as soon as I looked at team matchup, I was like, I'm getting murked by those two mons. He brings the Entei and the Amoonguss, two mons that, and Gliscor, and Rachi too. I felt like those four were questionable. Him not bringing the Sylveon really caught me off guard. Not seeing the Haxorus takes a lot of pressure off of my defensive core as well. I don't have to worry about being broken down by that. He does bring the Entei, but I have Rotom Heat, Tentacruel, and the Hydreigon, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. It is problematic. It could be a big nuisance, but I feel like I do have the tools to work around that and things like that, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. Yeah, no Sylveon really struck me odd, but like I mentioned, the Mian Xiao and the Mega Miniature were the two biggest threats to my squad, so I can definitely see why those are here. He's got two potential Stealth Rockers, being Gliscor and Jirachi. I would probably say Gliscor is his rocker, so that his Rachi could be like a Wish, Protect, U-Turn, Iron Head set, and then Gliscor could be like an Earthquake, U-Turn, Defog, Stealth Rocks, or Earthquake, no U-Turn and Roost, or something like that. And Amoonguss could be AV, it could be not AV with Spore and Black Sludge, something like that. It could be like Piapa Berry or something. Lots of different things it could be as well. Entei is more than likely going to be like a choice band variant to open up holes for his Mega Miniature and Mian Xiao to clean up late game. That's just analysis from Team Preview. So I felt like my best lead could actually be Rotom Heat or Hydreigon. I felt Rotom Heat was pretty nice because I could just Volt Switch out versus whatever he wanted to lead with. He chooses to lead with Gliscor though, and I have the Hidden Power Ice, so I'm actually going to reveal it here as he goes hard into his Entei. And what this lets me know is he's definitely going for Stone Edge here. He's definitely going for Stone Edge. Now, I'm going to Protect to scout for it, and not only does it allow me to scout for it, but I can, it only has 8 PP, so I can roost that off. I can roost all that stuff off here. And right here I can reveal Taunt versus the Gliscor, but he hard switches into his Rachi. I don't want to take a Scarf U-turn, so I'm going to hard switch out into my Rotom, which is Rocky Helmet, and I reveal Hidden Power Ice here again. And he goes for the knockoff, which actually puts him in Hidden Power Ice range to knock him out. I do lose my item though, which is a little bit unfortunate, but he can roost up here, and Hidden Power Ice will do significantly less. Or he could just switch out here, and he does switch out to the Entei, which is not a huge issue. I can just Protect once again, see what he wants to lock himself into. He goes for the Stone Edge, and I have a bulky boy Hydreigon here, max HP. It can avoid a 2-hit KO from this range because I can roost up, and I'm faster. He gets a critical hit here, which is a little bit unfortunate, forcing me to roost once again. And I would have been forced to roost anyway, but I would have been back to full there. And he's able to U-turn out as I bring in my Tentacruel. And here I can leave my Tentacruel in because he has the Mega Miniature, and I can just go for the Scald here, seeing what he wants to go for. But he's gonna go straight into his Amoonguss, so that's a little bit problematic. I could throw off a Toxic Spike here, or I could just reflect type. I'm going to reflect type to avoid spore. I can't switch into spore well, so being able to turn myself into a grass type is a nice tech there. And I'm just going to try to weaken this thing with the ice beam until I can get my Mega Gardevoir in. What I want to do is just keep clicking ice beam here, and he's going to knock me out and get rid of my Tentacruel. So he takes a 6-5 lead here, and I actually go into my Hydreigon here because I felt like my Z move was pretty free to throw off here. I didn't have a real reason to not just throw it off and then spam Dark Pulse here. Mienshao is not the best switch in. It could be a check, but it's not the best switch in, and I'm able to get rid of a Mungus there. So now he brings in the Mienshao. I no longer have my Rocky Helmet, so I can't punish that thing, but I can still switch into it as he goes for the U-turn. And he brings in his Entei again, but I can keep doing this all day basically. But he doubles out into Mienshao this turn, predicting my Hydreigon to come in. And I'm going to click Protect here, and then I'm going to switch out to my Rotom to see what he wants to go for here. And as you can see, I would have lived a high jump kick had I not hard switched in, which is very interesting. He's able to knock me out with the U-turn here. A little bit problematic, but not the end of the world. And Volt Switch does a fuck ton to my Conkeldurr. However, I'm still able to knock out the Gliscor. But now he's able to bring this thing back in and just click the Thunderbolt. However, I can go out into Licky Licky now. This thing can't avoid a 2-hit KO from Thunderbolt, so I can just throw off a Wish and then Protect. Scout what he wants to go for, see if he wants to go for the Iron Head, or he reveals Body Slam. He could have Stealth Rocks as well. I don't remember if Gliscor reveals Stealth Rocks or not. But yeah, what he's going to do here is he's going to reveal that he is a Body Slam variant, and he's going for the Para, and he's eventually going to get it. And then once he gets it, he can just spam Body Slam and Iron Head infinitely and be very annoying to my squad. He's also got Wish, meaning he can hard switch in the the Mienshao. He throws off his rocks as well, so he doesn't have, I don't think he has the Protect. I don't think he has Protect. Not on this set anyway. And I'm going to get paralyzed a couple times here. A little bit unfortunate, as I would have gotten big damage off on the Mega Miniature and the Jirachi there on the past 2 turns. And he goes for the Thunderbolt here, knocks me out. A little bit unfortunate there, but I can't really do anything about it. And he's able to just Volt Switch out here and go into his Mienshao as I throw off a Wish here. And I can just click Protect. I have no other play. And it forces him to U-turn as I get paralyzed, actually. I think he was trying to click U-turn on my Protect and then high jump kick on the following turn, but he was forced to U-turn out as my Protect did not go off. Now I just throw off a Wish here. I can hard switch into my Hydreigon, live anyone hit here and get the Wish back. No burn, which is a really, really good thing. He goes back into his Mienshao. Had I clicked Draco Meteor there, Hydreigon would have gotten rid of Mienshao. And not only that, it would have been able to 1v1 the rest of his squad. it would have been able to 1v1 the rest of his squad, which is very, very interesting. And I actually go for the Shadow Ball here, predicting him to go hard into his Jirachi. But he reveals Poison Jab, which wouldn't ever knock out a fat Mega Gardevoir, so I don't know why that was ever the play. But it worked out for him, and he's able to get rid of my Mega Gardevoir and then U-turn out into Mega Miniature, where he's going to be able to knock me out here as I get paralyzed on the last turn of the game, just to add a little bit of insult to injury there. But that's going to be a good game. He reverses the roles from last season, picks up a nice victory versus us. And yeah, we're going to be looking to bounce back in week 2. Good game to you, my man. Good luck the rest of the season. And yeah, I guess that's going to be it. Let me know what you thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.